conference that we told you about earlier, announcing charges here against two leaders of a transnational criminal organization. Let's go ahead and listen in.
I'm here to announce an indictment charging 4 defendants with operating one of the largest human smuggling rings in the nation. The indictment alleges a transnational criminal organization smuggled approximately 20,000 illegal immigrants from Guatemala to the United States via Mexico, and then transported these aliens to cities throughout the United States. The offenses alleged in the indictment show a criminal group that acted with callous disregard for our nation's immigration laws and no regard for the immigrants that they smuggled. They held individuals smuggled hostage for months, threatened them and their family members with violence, and others, including children, were killed in a horrific car crash in Oklahoma in 2023. The indictment charges 4 defendants, all of whom are illegal aliens from Guatemala who committed crimes while living in the United States. Each defendant faces up to life imprisonment and the possibility of the death penalty. Their crimes include conspiring to transport and harbor illegal aliens for private financial gain, which, as I mentioned, at least in one instance, resulted in death. The ringleader, Eduardo Domingo Renojo Mattel, was arrested and arraigned on Friday along with his right-hand man, Mahia Cha. Both defendants have pleaded not guilty, and a trial date is being set. Another defendant, Helmer Obispo Hernandez, is a fugitive. He's pictured here. In addition to the charges of the indictment, he's also charged in a federal criminal complaint with threatening to kill a federal law enforcement officer. While search warrants were being executed in Los Angeles on Friday, he telephoned a member of the investigative team and threatened to kill that agent and his family members by cutting off their heads. Those actions demonstrate just how violent this organization is. A 4th defendant is in custody in Oklahoma in connection with the fatal car accident in 2023. The transnational criminal organization operated for at least a dozen years and specialized in smuggling illegal immigrants from Guatemala to the United States. The movement of those illegal immigrants within the United States, especially between Phoenix and Los Angeles, and the harboring of those illegal aliens in the United States. According to the indictment, associates of the organization in Guatemala solicited thousands of illegal immigrants to come to the United States. Those associates then accepted payment between $15,000 and $18,000 for each smuggled alien to come to the United States via Mexico. They coordinated the movement from Guatemala to the United States. Mexican smuggling organizations transported the illegal immigrants from Mexico into the United States, initially to Arizona. Once the illegal immigrants were in the United States, they held them at stash houses, where they were later picked up by the organization's lieutenants. The illegal immigrants then, for an additional fee, were transported and moved to various stash houses throughout the United States, including Los Angeles. Those who did not pay their fees were held hostage, including at a stash house here in the Westlake district of Los Angeles. This organization caused deaths. In November 2023, while transporting illegal immigrants, defendant Jose Paxtor Ola caused a car accident in Elk City, Oklahoma, where he was transporting people illegally. That car accident resulted in 7 deaths. 3 of those individuals are minors, including a 4-year-old child. The actions of this human smuggling organization demonstrates a complete disregard for the nation's immigration laws. As the Attorney General has said, we are doubling down on our efforts to enforce long-standing criminal immigration laws. The failure to enforce those laws fuels these criminal organizations. I thank Homeland Security Investigations, the United States Border Patrol, the Inglewood Police Department for their diligent efforts investigating this dangerous and violent criminal organization. I also thank our prosecutors, Sean Nelson and Elia Herrera, for their work ensuring that these charges were brought and this organization dismantled. The human smuggling case that I've spoken about was part of a week-long series of events focused on revitalizing existing immigration enforcement activities, which include cases in which illegal immigrants were victimized, other cases where people here illegally exploited the nation's immigration laws, and dozens of criminal complaints this week were filed against illegal aliens with criminal records who had been removed from the United States after felony convictions and then returned. These included individuals convicted of violent crimes like manslaughter, assaults on police officers, and drug trafficking. This area of criminal activity is a priority, a top priority for the Department of Justice, and our efforts to target individuals participating in criminal activity here will continue. I'll now turn it over to the Deputy Special Agent in Charge from Homeland Security.
Good morning. Thank you for the opportunity to speak to you today about an important investigation that was run by ICE, Homeland Security Investigations, and Border Patrol, and prosecuted by U.S. Attorney's offices in the Central District. This investigation targeted a prolific human smuggling organization that was responsible for moving roughly 20,000 immigrants into the United States. As mentioned previously, this investigation also resulted in the death of 7 migrants as they were transporting east into the interior United States, including a 4-year-old child. The organization would typically bring in their clients into the Los Angeles and Phoenix area and transport their money into bank accounts, laundering those funds and depositing those into Los Angeles-based financial institutions for banks in the region. Human smuggling is a grave and dangerous endeavor that people who are mostly desperate and looking for a better life engage in, not realizing the possible dangers and the end results, which sometimes involve trafficking, exploitation, coercion, and long-enduring trials and tribulations to get to their end destination. The illegal activity not only endangers their lives of those being smuggled, but also the national security and public safety. We work with our partners, U.S. Border Patrol, state and locals, and U.S. Attorney's Office to ensure that people who bring these endangered individuals into the United States who are just looking for a better life to justice, especially in instances where, as in this, life has been lost. It's important for us to get a message out to the public to ensure that information is being provided to ICE, Homeland Security Investigations, to Border Patrol, and our partners so that we can combat these crimes as they're happening. We ask for the public's assistance in calling us at 1-866-347-2423 with any information that you may have regarding smuggling organizations and human trafficking organizations that are exploiting the vulnerable in this society. Thank you. Yes, last name is Angebranddt. Dwayne, D-W-A-Y-N.
Okay, well, you just heard from the U.S. Attorney's Office. They're announcing criminal charges against a transnational group from Guatemala accused of human smuggling, reportedly transporting nearly 20,000 illegal immigrants from Guatemala to the United States for more than a decade. Authorities say the 4 suspects are accused of holding the migrants hostage at a stash house in the West Lake District. Sometimes for months. They threatened many of these families. They're also accused of causing several deaths during a car accident, including some children who died. Of course, we will have the very latest in later editions of KCAL News.